morning, everyone. This is Diane Murray at Southern Art Gallery, and today I thought we would take a few minutes to look at quill brushes. I've been transitioning to quill brushes for a while now. I started with this cute little Zero Raphael brush. It's a soft aqua, and it's an imitation squirrel. And it's actually my favorite brush at this point. It actually came free with as a gift as part of a Sennelier purchase. And it was either Jerry's or Blick. I can't remember which website. But anyway, as you get proficient in watercolor and start to loosen up a bit, once you have learned water management, how much water you can tolerate on your brush and how much water is on your paper, then you can transition, in my opinion, to a bigger brush, a looser brush, and still maintain a level of control. What I've been searching for a while now is a quill brush that maintains a good point. And the only one I had found to this point was this Raphael. Years ago, I bought this Creative Mark Harmony quill, and as you can see, it's old, but it has no point whatsoever. And it's nice for a mop, but I never use it. So I also tried the Neptune Quill, which I don't have in front of me, but it's basically this same series. This is actually, I don't know if they call this a sword or a dagger, but the Neptune brushes in this wooden handle, to me, are not properly balanced. So I really don't like these brushes, and I really dislike this brush because this is an imitation squirrel also, and as you can see, it doesn't maintain its point. It's so long that honestly, it's virtually useless. I really regret buying this, and I never use this. I'm sure some artists have a reason to use that, but I haven't found a reason for it yet. The other brush that I purchased quite a long time ago, that's not really a quill, but it is a mixture of animal hair and synthetic, and I've had this for years, is the Davinci Cosmotop Mix. And this is the number 30. As you can see, it also does not keep the point, but it's a wonderful brush for laying down large washes and for, wetting your paper when you get started. And I still really like this brush. I tried to move away from the animal hair brushes and to just, for ethical reasons, just to use synthetic brushes. And I did have this, which is a silver black velvet, which, so many artists love this brush. It's really a nice brush. It's a mixture of squirrel and synthetic hairs, and it does keep a good point. I don't use this one as often as I used to, though. The next one I found was this Oscoda Ultimo. I actually ordered this from Jackson's in the UK. I don't think you can get it from Blick or from Jerry's. The Ultimo. This is a number 18. And this is a beautiful brush. It's a beautiful wash brush. It does come to a nice point. It's not the fine tip point that you really need, though. I'll show you. When you're can get a point. It's about the finest line that you can get with this brush. But it's a lovely brush. It is synthetic, and I would recommend this brush. It's a beautiful brush. Let's back up a second. Let's do the silver black velvet. And that's about the finest point I can get with that. And that was a number 10. Next, I will show you another new brush that I have tried recently. This is the Casaneo by Davinci. This is a number 4. This is also an imitation squirrel quill, and as you can see, it does come to a nice point. The Casaneo is, I've only had it for a little while now. I also ordered this from Jackson's, but as you can see, once you load it, let's see here, there you go. Once you load it, the point is not as great as I had hoped for. So honestly, I like it, but I'm still a bit disappointed because I'm really looking for a brush that you can do an entire painting with without having to change brushes. Because when I teach, it's this is my favorite, the Soft Aqua, the 0 by Raphael. And that's about the finest point, the finest line I can get with that. So I broke down and I purchased, even though it's squirrel and I really don't like the idea of it, I went ahead just to try this Davinci because I've seen many reviews from artists about this brush. So this came yesterday. This is this is not synthetic. This is a Davinci squirrel brush, and it's a number 2. And realize that the smaller the brush, the finer the line, of course. And I just wanted to see if, in fact, I could get a really fine line with the squirrel and if it made that much difference. And it probably is the finest line. However, it still does not give me the fine line that I want. But, so, I don't think squirrel is the answer. I think at this point, if I'm looking for a really sharp, small line, I'm just going to revert back to my synthetic brushes because they keep the best point. This is an Oscoda Perla, which is a synthetic. The problem with the synthetics, of course, is they don't hold as much water. But as you can see, I can get an extremely fine line. But see, as you can see, it just doesn't hold the water. That was a Perla, and I do love Oscoda brushes. This is a number 10 Perla. The other brushes that I really like are the Lowell Cornell, which are very inexpensive, ultra rounds. This is a number 4, and it has a beautiful point. But again, with the synthetic brushes, you run into the same thing. And of course, the smaller the brush, the more fine the line. And as you can see, it also runs out of water. But that's my favorite detail brush at this point. This is another one by Lowell Cornell. This is a number 2. The series is 7020. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, it has a beautiful point on it. And this is the detail brush I use all the time for detail. And as you can see, that's the very finest point, very finest line. But again, it runs out of water. So I guess it's really what you're looking for in your brushes. And I have many more brushes that I could show you, but we won't go into those because I'm really just trying to find the perfect quill to one. If I had to recommend one brush, that's what I'm trying to figure out for my students, what the best brush to recommend would be. And I guess at this point, I don't have any recommendations for just using one brush. So I'll keep you posted if that changes. I think right now you just need to have basically a wash brush, at least a wash brush, and a fine brush, a small, a number 2, or with a good point to it. Please subscribe. It really helps the channel to grow. And we will see you soon.